So I'm Ruth. I'm born in Bristol, been brought up in Bristol, lived outside of Bristol, but came back to Bristol because it's a city I really, really love. I work in the field of equality, diversity and inclusion, and I also am a creative, so I'm part of two theatre companies for black women in Bristol. It's been quite a tough time. So last 2 years, firstly, my mum passed away just before lockdown, and that was really difficult because all the things that you rely on when you're going through bereavement, such as being able to hug people, see people, be in physical spaces with people such as church, going to the gym, singing in my choir, all those things were gone. So I had to find a way to grieve, which was something I just struggled with. I lost my friend that I've known the longest in my life. She passed away a month and a half ago. And then family members, I've lost not close family members through COVID. And just having to, I'm very much a people person, so a lot of my work was very much about with people in physical spaces, and so I've had to do a lot of work on Zoom, as a lot of people, but it's been really hard to have to adapt and to feel as though you've been living in a box on your computer. One of the things I've done is I've walked a lot, and actually working with somebody, we set up a group for women of colour to go walking since April, and that's been brilliant because we've just been able to take women out who don't usually walk, and I go out walking as much as I can. That's one of the things I could do in lockdown. Sometimes I just step out of the house and just walk. I don't even have a plan of where I'm going to go, but I just know I need to go and walk. And for me, it's like, I always think about one of the Bible verses that gives me quite a lot of hope, will give me a lot of hope, is John 1, which is, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And I always see, every time I step up my house, it's the beginning of a journey, but it's also a mental journey as well. And I feel that just gives me so much hope because the Word was with God. The Word was there in the beginning. And it's for me that He wasn't there halfway through my journey. He's not there when I've started my journey. God is there at the beginning of every journey I take. And journeys are very much about hope. When you set out on a journey, you've got hope because you're going somewhere, you're expecting something to happen. So it's just a really comforting Bible verse for me, and I always think about that when I set off to go on my walk. But I also know it's about mentally as well. Every mental journey that I'm on, if it's about a struggle, I'm going on a journey, and that hope of God being there in the beginning and from the very beginning of that journey is really hopeful for me. My faith is strong, but I know it's been bruised and battered, and I just have to keep on renewing my relationship with God all the time in order for me to think about the future, because it does sometimes feel quite scary that things are shifting all the time and you think you've got somewhere and then we sort of take a step backwards or something changes and we're trying to adapt all the time. So that just being able to adapt is really hard work and tiring sometimes. But I take strength from the fact that we're all here and we are adapting. I look at what's happening around the rest of the world, and I just think that we're really fortunate where we are, as you know, the opportunities that we've got to adapt is a lot it's a lot easier for us. So I always have to remember that. And I also have to remember that my faith is what is going to see me through to the future, and that I've got really good friends who and family my family are quite laid back, so they don't panic a lot. That helps. And also, so just having I think it's about attitude, the attitude that I adapt, or I have to go forward. But yeah, we are lucky, we are fortunate, and I have to I think about gratitude a lot. What have I got to be grateful for, and what can I thank God for? And if I keep thinking about gratitude and all the things that are good in my life, it gives me strength to go forward in the future.